Hello, Stephan here with Liquidity. I've been to two towns called Bergen. One of them is a small village in southern Bavaria. The other one is a much larger town in western Norway. At first, these two towns don't seem to have anything else in common except for their name, but at closer scrutiny, this is just where the similarities and the ironies begin. Stay tuned for more.
Liquidity.
What could Norway's second largest city, a harbor town, a port city on the western coast of Norway, which is nestled within beautiful fjords, coastal landscapes, and mountains, possibly have in common with a small village in Bavaria, in southern Bavaria, rural southern Bavaria? The Norwegian city, Bergen, or as the locals pronounce it, Bergen, has had a very long history as an affiliated member of the Hanseatic League. So it has had a long history alongside German merchants, many of who actually settled there. So the Norwegian Bergen actually has a German connection, but it's a connection to northern Germany. Because of its very cosmopolitan and international history, the many centuries during which it was part of the Hanseatic League, and when a lot of not only German but also other merchants and people from all over the North Sea area and also the Baltic areas came and went, some of who settled down in Bergen, the local dialect in that part of Norway is very distinct. And unlike in most of Norway, where people pronounce this letter as a rolled, trilled R, very much like in Scotland or in Sweden as well, as a R, and where people would pronounce the city Bergen, in this part of Norway, it's pronounced Bergen. And one of the reasons why that might be is because people from Germany, some of who were upper class people and who spoke High German, may have actually introduced that uvular rhotic, that sound, to that region. That is one theory. I don't know exactly where it came from. It could have also come from Denmark. Ironically, most people, especially rural people of northern Germany, also roll or trill their R. So speakers of Plattdeutsch actually roll their R, very much like the Swedes and most Norwegians do. The guttural R, or the uvular rhotic, the R sound, is used, yes, by the Danes. It's used in High German, not by all German dialect speakers, but in High German, in Standard German. It's also used by the French, by the way, in Standard French. Not every French speaker has or uses that R, but it's the Standard French R as well. If you're interested in learning a little bit more, especially my crazy theory about the uvular rhotic or the guttural R, check out my link for a video that I made on just that topic down below. Speaking of dialects, Bavarian dialects all use a trilled or rolled R, very much like the vast majority of Norwegians and Swedes do. And actually a lot of Romance speakers too, not the standard French speakers, but Italians and also the Spanish. They all troll their R, some other languages too, but I'm not going to get into that. So the Bavarian Bergen, or the Bavarian Bergen, is actually pronounced Bergen, very much like a normal or regular, very much like most Norwegians and most Swedes would pronounce the Norwegian Bergen or Bergen. And the Scandinavian Bergen is pronounced by the locals in Bergen very much like a standard German speaker would pronounce it. Bergen, or Bergen, is actually quite an old city, especially as a city, not just as a village. It goes back to at least the 11th century. Originally was actually called Björkvin. And Björkvin means something like the meadows amidst the mountains. And when German traders saw that word they pronounced it their way and pronounced it Bergen, because there are also a lot of mountains around. And in German, the word for mountain is Berg. Swedes and other Scandinavians also use the word Berg or Berg for mountain. So it's not just a German word. In fact, iceberg comes from that, right? It is a little bit ironic, though, that Bergen or Bergen is called after the mountains that surround it. There are actually 7 mountains that surround Bergen. And that is because in Norwegian, there is another word for mountain, and that is fjell. You may also see fjellet, and fjellet basically means the mountain. So in Scandinavian languages, instead of having a definite article that is added before the word, we actually have a suffix that serves the same purpose as a definite article. So fjellet actually means the mountain. One of the most accessible of these 7 mountains that surround Bergen is called Fløyfjellet. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Fløyfjellet, this is how it's spelled. And that particular mountain is not called Fløyberg or Bergen, but Fløyfjellet, because the Norwegian word for mountain is fjell, or the mountain would be fjellet, which is, again, somewhat ironic. I mean, it's kind of logical because it is in Norway, but Bergen is named after mountains with a basically non-Norwegian term, and it's pronounced like a standard German speaker would actually pronounce it. And then we have the Bavarian Bergen, which is also not surrounded by mountains, but it's right next to mountains. It's actually right on the edge of where the Alps begin, where the Alpine mountain range begins. And there's also a way to access a local mountain by cable car from the Bavarian Bergen. And that particular cable car goes to a mountain that's called Hochfällen. There is no German word Fällen that means mountain. Hoch just means high. So high Fällen. Where does that word come from? I don't know. I looked it up. There is not really a German word for a mountain that is anywhere close to Fell or Fällen. However, Hochfällen is ironically and also suspiciously close to the Norwegian word for mountain, which is fjellet or fjell. Fjell. If you take out the J, you got fell. Just add an N, you got fällen. If you have any thoughts or any knowledge about this, please leave those in the comments. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments. So why is there a mountain in Bavaria next to a town called Bergen, pronounced like how most Norwegians would actually pronounce that word, that sounds very much like a Norwegian name for a mountain, Hochfällen. Fjellet is the Norwegian word for mountain, or fjell if you take away the suffix that's basically the definite article. So why is that? It's really, really strange. Any ideas? Leave them in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful, if you found it interesting, please give it a like and check out my other videos if you like those. Maybe you want to subscribe to my channel. It would be really nice. I always love to see new subscribers. And thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye. Tschüss. Or as the Norwegians would say, ha det bra, or ha det bra if you're from Bergen. Bye. Tschüss.